want to come forward?
Oh, yeah.
Morning.
Good morning.
Page 18
Okay, thank you.
in your book, Council Commissioners.
Can you turn that down a little?
Yeah, you too. They're getting the same, especially this one in the middle over here, you know. Everybody gets it from all sides there.
Thought there was somebody behind me.
Well, this is just our kind of giving an update where we're at with the weed board. Of course, we're dealing with noxious weeds and invasive species within our county and stuff, and we've been trying to be judicial with our money that we receive from you, and we appreciate that. 2023, we purchased 307.5 gallons of Cross Buccaneer and Cross Roads. And 2024, we purchased 265 gallons of chemicals, some Crossbow and glyphosate and Buccaneer. But we also, we had some reserve left over from the year before. We put on 3 40-gallon sprayers on the highway foreman's trucks, so that while they're around scouting around, they could see something, they could go ahead and spray it. That has been very beneficial in that process. I hope you have seen that. Now, this year's been challenging because it's kept on raining and weeds keep growing and stuff. So there's been 2 and 3 passes as far as, you know, spraying some areas of weeds that have come up. And so our budget's no different than what it's been in the last couple of years. We try to purchase some chemicals in the fall for the next year to have them in storage. We can get a little bit of a discount, get a little bit bigger bang for our buck. One thing I do want to bring up to you, we have met with Jeff Quayle, Radius, on these Rails for Trails, and we've been really concerned about what the maintenance is going to be on those Rails for Trails. We hate, and ultimately I've been in your seats before, a lot of times things like that are good, end up being in the lap of the county, you know, as far as maintenance. The purchase on that, those the Rails for Trails are actually classified as private property of Radius. So by definition, the weed board, we are actually over top as far as making sure that that's done, if you want to do it in the legalities. Now, take it up to legal counsel and stuff, but if we do that, we've got 27.5 miles of trails within this county. And the whole scope of the thing is 63.5 acres if you want to take the whole thing in there, which is actually, the whole trail is 565 acres of maintenance that's got to be done. They got a budget of $200,000 for maintenance of those Rails for Trails per year, but there are 2 full-time salaries paid out of that $200,000. Now, I'm not real smart, but they're not going to be able to do that. And there's a lot of these trails that haven't been developed right so far. And I've kind of viewed some of them. They're a mess already. And they're only going to get worse. I have a sister who lives in Toledo, Ohio, and I saw almost 20 miles of tracks, 3 wide, with abandoned trains on tracks, with trees growing out through the middle of the cars. We could very well end up with a jungle in there, and then somebody might just throw up there and says, so that's the way it is in there. The trouble is, we try to keep noxious weeds and invasive species down on private property, and we send out letters for them to do. Now, who do we send it to for Radius if they start missing out on their maintenance in there? They're relying on grants and private funding to come in to fund them. They've already run out of money right now to construct the rest of the paths they got. So in between South Tillow and Leipzig that I know is not development, it looks like a wilderness already. You know, and I'm just doing it in my particular area. I haven't looked in other places. The cities like Campbellsburg and Salem are already ending up that they haven't been really told what they're going to have to or what they're expected to do. Even for little restroom facilities here by the tracks that we cross, you know, going to Kentucky Fried Chicken. Jeff Quayle said there's going to be electronic locks on those at a particular set of time that just lock those bathrooms. Now this is a different subject than weed, but these are things that you're going to have to be looking at in the future. The contractor that put those up there, he said all there are key locks, that's it. And so I guarantee you that there's going to be a lot of vandalism, and who's going to clean those? So all good ideas sometimes miss all of as far as the keep operating cost in there. And so I'm saying that could very well end up in the laps of the county.
Let me ask you something, David. What'd you say you bought in Roundup?
We bought 307 gallons of Crossbow and Buccaneer, which is a generic Roundup. That was in 2023, and in 2024, we had carryover from that year. We only purchased 265.
What I'm seeing, where we're spraying on the side of the road, right behind it, and I come through Trainer Lane the other day. A county had sprayed right beside, but right behind it, they was like 8 and 9 foot if you drive the whole Trainer Lane, right behind it.
Yes.
And the farmer itself, I don't know if we're not mixing our chemicals right, but the chemical don't seem to be working that long. It's not, maybe I've got to misunderstand Roundup.
Well, if you don't kill the rhizome, in which Johnson grass is a very hardy grass in there, you can kill the upper plant, but the rhizomes can stay alive and spring up in other places too.
And Philip, neither one of these have any residual.
No.
They're just pure contact, so it's going to kill what's there, but if it keeps raining, other weeds are going to keep coming up.
We didn't used to have the poison hemlock that Jerry Roberts come in and talked to us about 10 years ago and said it was taken over. But I've noticed that poison hemlock, we're now starting getting an area in southern Washington County.
Plants have a survival resistance mode in there, and as you spray chemical, and you'll see in even the fields in there that there's weeds that are dead or the same type of plant, but some that it doesn't kill. That's a resistance that's been built up into their own system.
So is there a stronger chemical?
Yet in development.
Legal?
And the only reason I'm saying this, you've got time, so I'm going to talk. But that's what I'm asking. It doesn't seem,
Once you get a new chemical to combat that, it builds resistance again.
You know.
That's just the defense mechanism of plants of Mother Nature.
well, used to I didn't have Canadian thistles, and now I'm getting Canadian thistles.
Those
And
those are pollinators.
Yeah. Well, weeds, ever since Adam and Eve, after all that happened, you know, we got weeds.
The preacher talks about that once in
Yeah.
a while.
So back to your rails to trails, did Mr. Quile come to you guys asking for help on spraying the trail?
No, we asked him to come to our meeting. And we were just trying to understand what was going on with with their funding and maintenance, because we've been talking about this ever since before the first tracks were pulled in there, what the implications could be as far as keeping the operational part of those in there. There's a lot of different things. You've got public safety. We got places that are in remote places in there. Say that there's an accident in there, and the guys already got problems with who's got the right of way on those right of the trails and stuff. I mean, there's a whole gamut of things
Yeah.
that we're going to find out.
Well, bridges are one of my biggest concerns, where CSX used to take care of it. If we get a blockage, we could call them, and normally within 2 hours, they had a crane out there doing it.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah, I know.
From what I understood, they've just recently hired the trail manager, and they don't have a mode of transportation for her to even access the trails to spray. And like David said, they're out of budget for this year, so the Johnson grass especially is not gonna,
The DNR owns hundreds, if not thousands, of side-by-sides
correct, but she's an
This
employee
initiated-
of Radius.
with the DNR. This started with the DNR.
And that's what we said, and he said that DNR is not helping whatsoever.
Well, there's two verbiages that have been used, and it depends on which way they want to talk, okay? They talk that it's for the public good, as far as in this, and kind of being public access, but then they talk as being private land. So those two things are mechanisms out of having to take care of some things either way.
Yep.
Seems like that should have been determined before we started constructing this.
You mean a plan?
Plan should have been put in place for that before they started constructing this.
Kay Whitehead, it's up around Muncie, Indiana. In the 1990s, I sat on a board with her, state board, and she warned us of this, coming in that's already done. So if we want to find without having to reinvent the wheel, I think that we really need to talk to county governments about what has and has not happened correctly and incorrectly in counties like around Muncie in there. But they've been in place for almost 25, 30 years up there.
You can legally hire someone to spray and send the state a bill.
But it's private land.
You do that anyway, don't you?
Well, we do, we'll take care of it, yes. But, that's the reason, this $14,000 budget, get ready if you're going to start doing that.
Well, you got to assume you're going to get reimbursed, right?
Yeah. I'll do that with a smile.
Okay, thank you.
And they're nonprofit, so
Yeah.
do they pay property tax
No.
to put a lien on? So then if they don't pay the bill, that would be the next step, was to put a lien on their property taxes, which they don't pay.
Sounds like you need some more serious conversations with Mr. Jeff Quile.
Well, he said we were probably the most courteous group that he talked to.
Yeah, I heard you still weren't too nice.
I tried.
Seems to me like this should have been designated as park ground. If they
Well, I
wanted-
agree.
If the state wanted this, they should have designated it as park ground.
I agree with you.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
that
it's
was,
taken us this long just to find out who to actually talk to. Like David said, we've been looking, trying to be in contact with someone to find out what the plan was.
Well, the fact
And-
that they don't know, I'm just going to say it. I wouldn't use those future restrooms out there for any amount of money whatsoever, because I have a feeling they're never going to be clean and they're going to be absolutely disgusting. And they're probably not going to have enough people to maintain them the entire time. So it's just going to become this huge vandalized eyesore within the city.
I had I had a father-in-law who worked for the Parks and Recreation in there. And the little part that's up there by Doc Apple's old office in there, he was either putting a toilet or a urinal or a lavatory in there once a week in there because it'd been vandalized.
Right?
So I'm bearer of great news.
No, you never have been.
But no, I don't envy your job in there. I just want to give you fair warning. You know, probably what will be coming down the pike in that. So, I mean, some people will use them for exercise and recreational. That's all fine and stuff. But there's a lot more implications in there. So, all right.
All right, well, thank you, guys. Anybody else have any questions?
David, when you figure that acreage, how wide were you figuring off of the,
The easement's 60 feet wide,
okay,
30 feet from the middle of the tracks each way.
okay, thank you.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. No. All right, we got a few minutes here. Coroner scheduled at 11:40. So, a few minutes here. Haven't seen her yet. That'll be on page 19, so that's where we go here before we take a lunch break. Once she makes it here, so.
It won't slam. Come on, Ann.
Hello.
Morning, Shonda. We're
Good.
Good, how are you?
Not too bad.
Alright, Shonda's here from the coroner's office to go over her budget, to let her go down through her list on page 19 in your book, once again, page 19.
I pretty much kept everything the same as last year. The increase on our autopsy budget has helped, so we went through about half of that this year, and we're halfway through the year, so it seems to be right on track. I did request a 5% salary increase for my top 3 positions, and then the reserve I pay my contracted, my contracted employees out of. The main thing, and I got that to Michelle yesterday, is I'm requesting a new vehicle. And I know I've come to you guys every year about it, but it's becoming a serious issue. So I know that the price is not probably what you guys want to give me, and I'm working on grants. I've been working with Denny Simpowski on that. There's just not any open currently for that type of vehicle, but it's actually becoming a health hazard to continue to transport in the Durango that I have. So
What year's the vehicle you have now?
do what?
Do you know what year the vehicle is you have now?
In a 17 or an 18, I think. I would have to look. Michelle, do you know for sure? I can't. I would have to look at the paperwork. It used to be the old Chase vehicle when Nick Olick was the director of EMS. It was his vehicle. It has a lot of miles on it, and it's just not, it doesn't run properly. And the size is also becoming an issue. Like, what?
Nothing. Go ahead. Wait. You talking about that truck?
The Durango.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a 16 in it.
I was thinking it was a 17, but I'm not for sure.
I think it's a 16. It's pretty bad.
It's really bad, actually. It's actually broke down on us a couple times while transporting. So that's also becoming a whole separate issue. But the size of it is actually also, people in this culture tend to be larger these days. And I don't have the room to fit them in there to transport them back to my holding facility. So then I have to call a removal company, which is an expense that we shouldn't have to have. So that's kind of where we're at with that. And pickup trucks just seem to be more what I would consider sanitary. We've been doing a lot of transports these days that involve decomp, drugs, bugs.
Is that what you're referring to for the?
The health hazard? Yes. Because there's literally nothing separating us. And the platform is plywood. And if any of that gets on the plywood, like we get in there and scrub it, but you can't get that out of plywood. You just can't. So that's, we still have to ride in that to get to the scenes, and it's not pleasant.
How many times have you used a removal company this year?
This year, I have not used one, knock on wood, but we're only halfway. But last year I did use one 3 times.
What's that roughly cost?
Anywhere from $250 to $400. Depending on where they have to transport them to.
Where do you have that listed in your budget? In case that comes up.
It is not.
It's not?
It's not. I take it out of the autopsy budget.
Okay.
How often do you transport a body?
I'm sorry, what?
How often do you transport one?
Probably at least 80% of the time. Out of calls. I mean, I can't tell you one a day because it's not scheduled.
Right, no,
but,
just on an average.
I mean, probably at least 6 a month.
6 a month.
Sometimes more, sometimes less. It's not really a job that is
Do what?
scheduled. I said sometimes more, sometimes less.
Yeah, just
It's not scheduled, so yeah. Because I do roughly between 100 and 125 calls a year.
okay.
So-
That
And we're at, let's see, it's now August and we're at 62 calls for the year, so.
So this outfitting on the truck, is this the cover that goes over the back so you're not driving around with a body
Right, it's a topper.
exposed?
That also includes lights, because I have to have the lights like a police vehicle, and my radio, and the lettering.
So is this top something that you can remove and just run it through a car wash if you had to, or is it something?
It's an
that
actually
you-
hard shell topper,
Okay.
that has storage on both sides to put my bags, my gloves, any supplies that I take to a scene. It will hold all of that.
It's all metal, so you can spray it out?
Yep.
Okay.
What I don't have a quote for yet, which I'm still working on, because our local, like the rep that would come to our county, he is no longer with Stryker. So I kept calling, and instead of them telling me he wasn't with Stryker, they were just putting me off. My cot is a striker cot, and they actually have a unit that will go in the bed and help put my cot into the bed of the truck. Similar to what the ambulance service uses, but not quite as fancy, if you may. But I do have a large electric cot, well, battery-powered cot, that goes in the back of the Durango, and I want to keep that cot and use it in the pickup truck.
I was gonna say, that's one I think they got several years back on a grant,
Yes,
or through the ARP money or something.
yes,
The lift, yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
They've had it since before I was.
You usually use all the money from the autopsy lab transport cost, 45,000. It looks like you still got like 31,105.
Yes, we're about halfway through the year. In the previous years, I had to request an increase towards the end of the year because I did not have the funding to cover the autopsies. So in '24, I had requested it to be moved up to 45 so that I didn't have to come to the end of the year begging for more funds. So it's very hit or miss. But all drug overdoses now require an autopsy for court purposes. So I have done a lot more. I've done 11 autopsies this year. So
What's the cost of that?
anywhere between $2,000 and $2,500. $2,500.
Yeah, they've about doubled.
Who does that?
Who does my autopsies? Dr. Bill Ralston out of Louisville.
Does Jacoby still do this?
He does, but I don't use him.
I didn't know.
Separation.
Is there a state? Why are we doing so many autopsies? I mean, we didn't used to do that. I'm just asking.
Well, there's a lot of people who don't go to the doctor like they should anymore. So if I don't have medical records to back up, my findings, then I can't positively determine a cause of death. Also, drug overdoses, to be able to prosecute a seller, they require an autopsy because they won't recognize just a toxicology report. So.
Standard 8-foot bed sufficient to handle what you're
It
looking,
has to be a long bed,
8 foot.
yeah, to fit my cot in it. Mhm.
Now, there are some vehicles out there, I don't know how the Durango worked for you, but there are some enclosed SUVs that are larger and more spacious than a Durango. I didn't know if something like that could even be considered, if it was a bigger unit, yet, more space for you. I'm struggling to find out exactly what could work for you.
Right. Most apartments are going to the pickup trucks for the separation due to smell and, just being submitted to that type of environment. And because it's easier to clean. I've looked at vans, I've looked at like a larger SUV.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't have that. Sorry, I'm not finding the right words. Just not the separation that I'm looking for.
A lot of the vans have that separation. They have a metal wall that separates the driver.
The vans that I've looked at, my concern also is getting that van out to where I sometimes have to go. Sometimes I have to go in the woods. Sometimes I have to go out into a crop field. I've taken that Durango a couple places that it probably shouldn't have went. But you gotta do what you gotta do. So also my thinking with the area that we live in, a 4-wheel drive pickup truck would be beneficial.
Any other questions for Shonda on her budget? Percent increase there for our employees, and then, of course, the vehicle request. Anybody else have anything?
Talking to Mike, he said.
Oh, sorry. What, you couldn't hear me?
Rhonda getting after you.
Well,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't want Bubba to die, so I have it behind, right? But yeah,
Usually I'm
if you
loud enough.
Bring the microphone closer.
It's lighting up. I don't want to get it too close.
So,
Get in there.
You want it right
Yeah,
right there.
Bring it on top.
Testing.
Rhonda.
did I hear you say this what? You don't have this vehicle in your budget?
Yeah.
No, I just was able to get the quote. I had sent it to
Oh.
Michelle, was it
Okay.
yesterday, early in the week? Yeah, so.
Yeah, she give all the council has a copy of that.
Yeah, I've got one. So what line item would you,
Vehicle.
if you do this, would we add a line item for payment or debt service, or how would we do that? Are you would you plan on making payments or?
I'll be honest with you, Todd. I don't know the exact procedure for purchasing a vehicle.
Oh, okay.
Through the county. I'm using what was there when I took office.
Okay.
So this is new grounds for me.
I understand.
That's fine. You're okay.
So,
All right. That's all I need. Thank you.
You just get the one bid.
I'm sorry, what?
You just get one bid.
Just one. Yeah, here in town to try to stay local. I had reached out to Gilstraps just to see, because I didn't know if a Ford would be a cheaper way to go. They didn't really seem to have what I was looking for. And I had even spoke with Tim Wolf at John Jones about a used vehicle. He couldn't guarantee me pricing on it because it's what they have in stock.
Of course.
So he just quoted me for a brand new.
Thank you.
Any other questions? If not, thank you. If we need anything else, we'll be in touch with you.
All right, thanks so much. If
Thank
anybody
you.
wants to do a ride along with me to see how it is in my Durango, y'all are welcome to.
I'm good. I'll take your word for it.
Thank you.
I think you'd be quick to.
Yeah. I'll get in touch with you.
Yeah. Thank you, Sean.
Bye.
Thank you.
Kind of called her bluff there, didn't she?
Yeah. well,
I think that was aimed at you. Or Phil.
Yeah.
What's going on?
What's going on? Phil don't know where he's at.
I'll tell you what. You and Bubba's just alike.
That's right.
That's okay. I'll take that as a
They're related.
All right. Well, I guess we're to our lunch break time. Did you have, Michelle, the veterans?
I had him, but he had to change,
Was he scheduled at 11:50?
yeah, he was scheduled at 11:50, but he had an appointment.
So he had to change
Yeah.
to tomorrow.
Oh, very good.
Is it tomorrow?
Yeah, 11:20 tomorrow.
Okay, then
I can
yes.
Put on there.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure we weren't skipping him if we went ahead and skipped out for lunch.
Yeah, no, he had appointments, so.
Don't have to. Everybody's in a pissed off mood. I don't really have to be around.
We break for lunch or should?
That's up to you. I mean, you got 20 minutes. If you want to talk for 20 minutes, you can.
We got a few minutes, if you want to go over maybe some of the things that we've been over this morning with some of the departments. If there's any questions, or if you want to have further discussion on any of those items that were brought up there, or this vehicle, or?
We probably ought to talk about this vehicle because she's on borrowed time. If I remember right,
That thing's a 12, if I remember right.
I think it's got 200,000 miles on it.
It's a 2012.
Shot. It is shot.
They've still got that old Explorer out there.
Yeah, but it's junk.
I know.
It's probably worse than the Durango.
It's probably it might be worth $1,500.
If you put the two of them together, you'd have a good wreck.
You put the two of them together, you got about $3,000.
If that. Might be worth scrapping. You know, I see where she's coming from on that, and you know, I know they had an incident last year where it was kind of a mess, and without being morbid, a lot of that fluid, whatever you want to call it, leaked out in there.
It's about dinner time, okay?
I know, but you wanted to talk about it, so
It
we're
was
going to
bad.
talk about it. But it's a bad situation for them. And like she said, I think I agree with her on the separation part. Whether we buy a new vehicle or not
Well, that's
is a question I have.
That's a question I have too, to haul.
To
haul
be
bodies.
honest, I just, I hate spending $64,000 of taxpayer money.
That's still plus the,
Yeah, you still got some of the upfit there.
I was gonna say the custom upfit takes it to 64, so.
Yeah,
yeah, but she said that didn't have the,
it didn't have the striker.
yeah, bed thing.
That can't be that much more, I wouldn't think.
Well, the striker beds are expensive. We know, we've ran into that too with EMS.
They can run $3,000 to $5,000.
Yeah, I would think probably every bit of it.
But she just wants to track the system to get it in the bed.
Yes.
She doesn't actually want the bed.
Right.
Yeah, she's got the lift already.
Right.
It's just the track that she has to have to put in.
But my personal feelings are, I might entertain something half that much money. That's just a lot of money to tie up.
Maybe there's a few creative ideas. She could come maybe shop around on autopsies, maybe saving a little bit of money there.
Yeah, I don't know why she switched doctors, because I know it's been 2 years ago, but Dr. Jacoby was
Cheaper.
he was only charging $1,600, I believe. And I don't know I guess that's her decision as a department head, but on the other hand, I don't know.
I hate to keep throwing her in I would call it hand-me-down vehicle, because we're going to be in the same situation, 2 or 3 years down the road if we just keep throwing her something that we've used in other departments. But I do feel like, just from being around the car business, that we can, for half that much money, we could get a pretty doggone nice vehicle, in my opinion. But that's my opinion. I don't know what everybody else thinks about it.
Well, everybody knows how conservative I am when it comes to money, but if you're going to haul a body around, I don't think they're really interested in it being a new vehicle. The taxpayer, we got to answer to the taxpayer. The taxpayer's going to say, how come you got to have a new vehicle for that purpose?
The guy in the back, he won't care.
He ain't going to care. No. As long as it does the job. As long as the vehicle does the job. This is all we're looking for. And that's all she's looking for, too.
Well, maybe you ought to appoint a committee to check around for used vehicles.
I don't understand, what's the 20,000 in upfitting?
That's too much.
It's a lot.
That's too much. I'll tell you that
I
right
mean,
now.
I'll just call a spade a spade.
If
It's
we're
a
just
lot.
talking about a camper shell on top.
That's too much.
And some shelving.
Yeah.
Lights.
And
Lights, wiring,
That's where
radio. That's where they make the profit.
That's where their profit's at.
That's where the profit is.
Been down that road. It's too much.
Skunk, what do they call that?
Thank you. That's
No,
what,
I agree. It's a lot. The upfit is a lot.
I think if you got a used vehicle for about half that, and then cut that upfit about half,
yeah.
you'd have a pretty reasonable
Yeah.
situation.
Don't they have any lease trucks? Maybe like Todd said, maybe.
Yeah, there could be an off-lease situation.
A lot of options.
You know, there's a lot of options there.
So why don't you set a committee up and get some prices on some different trucks and look for a lease one?
Maybe somebody or two guys that's been in the car business for a long time.
I don't care. I'll
We can work on that.
we'll work on it.
I don't
I'll do
mind,
some research.
working on that a little bit. I mean, I can tell you that you can get a pretty nice, truck like she's talking about. The only issue I would see with that is the availability of long bed
Single cab.
trucks are.
It's a special order
It's a
today.
special order now. Used to, everything was a long bed.
Yeah,
Now everybody wants the shorter
they
bed.
want a school bus.
So, to find a used long bed truck sometimes it's hard because there's just not that many of them made new. So that limits your use, but there are some out there. It's just something you'd have to do some searching for.
I'll work on it. I don't mind.
We can see what a lease would cost.
Lease is an option. The only problem is if this is something, no doubt we're gonna need for years to come, lease wise, average lease probably on a truck like that, a new truck lease, you're probably looking at $400 or $500 a month.
Be like making a payment.
Yep.
I was
So-
talking more about finding a lease truck that turned back.
That come off a lease,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
come
I
off a
agree.
lease.
I'm not saying buy new,
Right,
but
understand.
some of them turn back in. There's gotta be one out there somewhere.
There again, your biggest problem with that would be the long bed part of it.
All they're out there.
They're out there.
There's a few. Well, we can look into that and see what we can find out.
You'd be a good one. I mean, you got, vehicles. Why don't you look around?
Gerald said he's
I said I will look at it.
We'll take a look at it.
I'll research it.
We'll work together on it.
Yeah.
Be nice.
Is that Dodge with them fancy wheels sitting down there on the square? Is that an 8-foot bed?
It is not, it's a short bed.
With red one,
Yeah.
with an off red.
I like the price of it a lot better than I do that one. I'll tell you what, I'll take half for the Dodge if you just wanna buy it right now.
You couldn't afford the wheels you got on.
Yeah, whatever.
Here's one right here in Indianapolis, $16,000.
Yes,
There you
they're
go.
out there. They're out
There
there.
you go.
60,000.
Karen done found one.
60,000 miles.
Four-wheel drive, regular cab, 8-foot bed.
Yes, sir. What year?
2016?
Perfect.
Perfect drive.
Yeah, I think
No,
something
we'll get
like
some,
that
we'll
would
do some
be,
research on it.
would be a lot better fit and also do what she needs it to do.
Right.
And put her in a lot better position than she is now with the Durango.
Four-wheel drive, yeah.
They're out there, it's just finding them.
It's nice on the inside. They took good care of it, whoever had it.
So we'll work on that. Well, if there's nothing further, we'll break for lunch. We'll see everyone back here at 1:30, so plenty of time.